I don't know what I'm going to do on one hand. I've spent years alternating between being like so sad that I just cry in absolute agonizing pain, and then having these moments of a violent outburst. And both of those are connected to weapons paradigms. And both of those are part of weapons paradigms that have currently active contracts with various companies through the DoD. And I'm pretty certain that a lot of what's going on with COVID 19 right now, especially with these alleged mobile hospitals and the manners in which they have recapitulated trauma centers, presumably to address the influx of patients or people who are alleged to have COVID 19, is part of testing and actually applying plasma weapons paradigms, and that they've been in various stages of rolling this out for years, and that they tested it on homeless people for a very substantial amount of time, and they tested it on people in prisons and jails, and they tested it on people in mental health facilities, and they actually used it in conjunction with remote ops that were actually activated and engaged at one level in one place and allowed to be instantiated somewhere else when there was some other kind of correlative activity going on that would allow for it to materialize into what they were hoping it would materialize into. And that while sometimes these are absolutely strategic, 100% premeditated, precision targeted hits that do or do not deliver the exact metrics they're looking for, and sometimes it's about having multiple scenarios available at any given time and then just deciding to allow for the opening of liquidity that is needed for some sort of market demand by executing a particular option over and above another. And I already know on another level that there are a variety of roles and milieus that need to coordinate for this to happen, and aspects of it have been compartmentalized, and certain people, like myself, have participated in various elements at various times. And the understanding is that it's supposed to be decentralized, almost like a cell model, where no one person is supposed to know everything. So there's plausible deniability on a certain level. And this has been going on for a long time. It may actually be a part of some ancient technology. But the point of the matter is, we were supposed to be here at this time to get over our gonadal urges to sexually dominate and colonize, to violate people against their consent. Even if there was an intergalactic compact, then there was a choice between whether to use consent or coercion. And it is a weaker and inferior form of engagement to use coercion, especially when you're dealing with people you do not need to coerce if there's anything legitimate about what you're doing. And if it's illegitimate, then you've already really wasted and squandered whatever the intelligence was you had to work with to begin with. It's supposed to be complemented and paired. And unfortunately, the way they disabused our skills and the way they allowed for certain people to be completely slandered while other people are allowed to be overhyped in order to reinforce our own concept of fragility, then we've got such disparity in certain levels that the only real thing I can do if I really want to get at the charges that need to be filed is, if it's in fact true that I've done something almost pioneering in a certain way by being like able to get through certain kinds of torment, then what I have to do is I have to address and understand that somehow I'm going to be on a particular level regarding the implementation of this plasma weapons paradigm. That when you get these bursts where pressure builds, and then there is a meme, and usually it's connected to some infrasonic that has a particular offensive vocalization that says something that, under the stressors of the moment, is so extremely inappropriate that it triggers a violent response. And I know that it can be connected to acts of lethal violence. That while I'm in my room and I respond like that, because nobody will be honest about how I'm biophysiologically and spiritually connected to things in other parts of the world, I know that I get triggered and they won't reprogram it. They won't change the goddamn channels. They won't even give me somebody to talk to. They can do that. It's not that fucking hard. But they just refuse. They've refused for years. There's not even any fucking utility, except somebody wants to game it that way. It's exactly what those women in California leadership did. They're gaming their meth bill, which is the fuel. Their meth bill is the ammunition in this plasma weapons paradigm. It's 100% what it is. And they probably do that ISIS crap, where you get to pretend on one hand you're actually ISIS and you're organizing the underground, the terrorist group, but then you pair it. You have your dark and your light, and your dark side can go real fucking dark, especially if you have seniority in your fucking committee assignment. But then the light side is, well, it's really expensive to get an MRA. They're really expensive, and we need healthcare. So you promote yourself as if you're trying to address it from this nurturing, holistic, feminine, motherly perspective. Men and women both do it. While on the other side, you already fucking know you haven't canceled a goddamn fucking DOD contract. Not one of them has said, there's 10 of us, there's 30 of us. We're going to cut this many days and we're going to refocus that. So they don't fucking do that. Billions of fucking dollars of these contracts per day. But because they don't want to do the job that they're supposed to do to keep track of the fucking budget and all the shit they hedge on and let all their funders hedge on, they make a justification on a certain level of having very, very expensive, very high tech, very deadly underwriting connected to DOD contracts for everything as intimate as our genitals and whether or not they can be used in moments of bioweaponization, or whether or not when we're in some sort of ritual, we can be triggered in order to be paired with somebody that's already been conditioned to go on a targeted assassination or deliver a terrorist attack in another part of the world. That's what the entire fucking Obama administration was about. Confine the space. Mark the space. Reinforce psychologically the command structure, who's in charge of the actual physical space. Reinforce over and over again that you need to please the people at the ports of entry by demonstrating you've internalized the disciplinary mechanism and you act the way they say you need to act to get through the goddamn fucking gate. That's his entire fucking administration. And that's what's happening now. And it's been happening for a couple of days. And the problem is, it's not going to kill me. It's not going to kill me. But they've been doing this to me for years. And I know how it works. Now I know how it works. They won't change the fucking codes in the back of my fucking emails. They won't close out my fucking reports. They won't let me fucking go to goddamn court without putting other people on my fucking cases that are even worse than what I tried to go to court about. It's been going on for years. So I'm just putting this on there for myself. I know that's what they set up. That fucking meth bill is completely contemptible. It's the ammunition for their plasma weapons paradigm. And the thing is, I want to shoot her with her own gun. I'm not gonna lie. She knows exactly what the fuck she's doing. We're not talking about some cute little freshman that got a pep talk from somebody from across the aisle that might have given her some pointers about some friends he had. Give her a first deal, let her get her teeth cut. No, 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 no. That's not who we're talking about here. We're talking about one of the most dangerous women on the fucking planet. We really are. And she's that fucking dangerous.